Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the final day of the Metal World Scrabble Championship. With me today is Stefan Rao and Craig Beavis. Hello, guys. Morning. Uh, is Stefan on? Yeah. Good. So, game number 27 between Nigel Richards and Wasim Khatri. Nigel is currently leading, and Wasim is on 7th position. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Um. Yeah. That's what I would do. I'm just saying because he's gonna listen to it.
Wasim has blank on his first rack, but not the blank that we usually like to see. He actually has BLANK. Not quite as useful. Could potentially just flush out some tiles by playing something like balking through the eye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Goes for
Goes for talk, keeping the synergistic NG together.
Indeed, there was one other interesting option there. Not sure how to pronounce it. Nabka, Nabk, which is quite a difficult one to spot. Actually, just
Yeah,
played in the same spot. Yeah,
one of
it would
those
be
words that
a nice word.
everybody knows, and it's very easy to forget about, and kind of
yeah.
difficult to see in a mess of random tiles.
Indeed, yeah.
So Nigel 75, Wasim 23.
Nigel goes with Obed, taking advantage of that new two-letter word OK.
And Wazim not picked particularly well to his BNG.
Yeah.
But he's got similar problems as he did on his first rack. A lot of constants to try and work through. I guess
Morning,
the most
Daniel.
obvious thing here would be to play PHEW to the E. It does block things a bit though.
Mm-hmm. As we see, Nigel, as he so often does, has drawn into an early game bingo.
Yeah.
As we mentioned on our the last time Wasim was on our stream, he is an 8-time national champion back in his native Pakistan. So only 28 years old, but already pretty well accomplished.
Yes, yeah, indeed.
Nigel, everybody is pretty familiar with his resume at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Really interesting. I mean, as alluded to earlier, in the tournament, of course, the World Championship has been going since to 28 years itself, 1991. So, uh, was he obviously born in the same year, presumably,
Hmm.
as when everything started.
Hmm.
Nigel, a
Yeah.
little bit older though.
I think Wasim and Mui started playing very young as well. So, just trying to remember when Mui started playing. 2011 or 12, I think.
19.
Wasim takes 19 points for whip. Quackle had suggested as the best move there the obscure six-letter word bingy, B-I-N-G-H-I, for 32 points into that I that he just used. And Nigel will not hesitate at all to put down his play of remoras.
So Nigel 151, Wasim 42.
Yeah, remorse is an interesting word from Latin. It means the sucking fish, whatever that means. Formerly believed to stop ships by attaching its sucker to them.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. If you didn't spot that one, you might have spotted roamers, which
Yeah.
could have been as good as well. Another bonus option, or mareros, which I think is reasonably new, maybe. But yeah, all of them would have played.
Yeah. There is a 7 on Wasim's rack, but I don't think it's playable.
Yeah, it's quite a frustrating rack for Wazim. Because if there was an N, you'd have the newish word bonusing, which everybody
Ooh.
wants to do in Scrabble. But yeah, it doesn't quite have the floaters they need, or anywhere to play his seven-letter word.
Ooh.
ooh,
80.
nice try, but I think that's going to end up scoring 0, unfortunately.
That's an hold, and is Nigel gonna challenge it? It's one of his 5 rules. Uh,
He's letting Wasim twist
Yep.
in the wind a little bit
Yep,
here.
there you go. I was thinking of some suspenseful music.
So according to Wespa's website, these two players have faced each other 14 times before.
Yeah.
Wasim has won 4 times,
Ooh.
which against Nigel is not that awful a record considering all things. But the first time they matched up was all the way back in 2011. Wasim
Wow.
took Nigel down 476 to 466. So a good win for a young player at the time.
Yeah, as mentioned in chat, there was if you take the G off, he actually has a valid word, bonusing.
Mm-hmm.
Without the G, which maybe confused him a little bit.
Horse and a type of cheese, I believe.
Yeah. Just having a look at the standings. I'm trying to predict what will be the magic number to make the top 8, which every player's going to look to try and do to make the weekend and the playoffs. I'm thinking Nigel's already probably made it. I'm thinking 21 wins will get players through. Nigel already on 21 wins, but
Yeah.
that's not going to be Gibsonized yet. Um, There's a few other players just hanging around that need to catch up. Chris Light, Brett Smitheron, and Dave Wiegand all struggling at this stage, but could still make it. The big run at the end.
Yeah, right now, the cutoff for 8th place is a 16-10 record, so 21 wins is probably a pretty good prediction as to where things are going to end up.
Um.
Yeah, a quick play from Nigel with
Yeah.
Viola. I think that's one of the things Nigel does. I mean, obviously he does a lot of things better than everybody else, but when his opponent plays a phony, it's such a complicated thing, particularly on that rack, because he knows exactly what Wasim has, and that's one of the hardest things for a Scrabble player to work out what to play when you have complete knowledge of what your opponent has. And a lot of other players would have probably took 4 or 5 minutes there to work out a play and what their
Yeah.
opponent's going to do in response and go through all the options. But Nigel just does it so easily.
It's interesting. He sacrificed a few points. He could have played Ville in the same spot for a couple more for 31 points, as opposed to the 21 that he took for Viola. Didn't want to dangle the juicy V in the triple lane, I guess.
Probably. Nigel does have a playable. Oh, here you go. Playable 8 here, and for 70. So Nigel 242, Wasim 58. Can you play Waxings? Natalie was asking me what are his 5 rules. I think I spoke to him 2 days ago, and he told me he had 5 rules he follows when he's playing Scrabble. Never overdraw. Never play a phony. Never let your opponent play a phony. Always play the best move, and don't let the game affect you. He does say that he does smile when the game's over, but he doesn't show it to us. So yeah, those were his 5 rules.
No place for waxing, so
Yeah,
he
with
just dumps wax.
Yeah, for everybody else, those rules are aspirational. For Nigel, he pretty much
Yes, yeah.
meets them. But
Ooh,
Yeah, I would think none of those rules are particularly controversial. It's
yeah.
just knowing them is easy, following them is another thing.
Is another thing, yeah.
yeah, Nigel's lined up his best play already. It's
Yeah.
quite a tricky one to spot, and certainly wouldn't have been sure of it either.
Ooh. Yeah, I think it's very easy to just go on autopilot on a move like this and dump off join over the O of Umbo, but there is a better move available than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly with the scar as it is, Nigel wouldn't want to play JO or even join, as you say, open up a 9-timer with a scar that is. This move that he's found would be perfect for that. But he's gone for something
Yeah.
else interesting. Classic
Interesting.
Nigel set up.
Buff goes down for 39. So Nigel 264, Wasim 143.
Yeah, and the value of that setup from Nigel is to set up Jive.
Wow.
He already had Jive, whatever he had, but
Gyro
he's
for
got one better,
94.
but he's picked the R as well, so
Hmm.
he was always going to get about 60 anyway, but that R is even better. A D or an S would have worked as well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think only Nigel would have probably played that setup. I think anybody
Yeah.
else, the big move we were talking about was duking, JOOKING. We've scored about 50.
Yeah.
But yeah, only Nigel really can look for so many setups like that because everybody else is going to be laser focused on that 50 points and
Ooh.
not going to search for all these other
Wow.
little players on the
Yeah,
board.
Wow. Gyro goes down for 94.
Wasim has drawn a bingo, but unfortunately the deficit is getting pretty huge at this point.
Yes.
Indeed. Just to clarify, there was also some bonuses with Nigel's rack. Probably people having a look at the rejoined and rejoiced on that last rack, but they're only scoring 4 more points than Jiva
Yeah.
did, and obviously Jiva keeps the blank back. There's also quite a cool 9-letter word which we know Nigel will have seen, which was dukeries for the OK, which would have been very stylish, but
Yeah.
101 for that. But obviously Jive was the best player by distance, keeping that
Yeah.
strong blank back.
Wasim does have something that goes down for 96. So let's see if he can find that. It's a very simple one.
Yeah, again, there's the easy bingo of masting, hooking
Yeah.
the S on umbo, but there is a better one if he takes the time to look more thoroughly at his spots.
He does have time, so
Yeah. It's easy to
Yeah,
be
16 minutes
disheartened
at
at
this
this.
stage. Plenty.
It's easy for him to be disheartened with the score as it is now, but
yeah. And
Yeah, just a message on YouTube asking if 25 minutes is the time control. Yeah, it is. It's 25
it
minutes
is, yeah.
each. The players start with. As you can see, both players not even that, so they've got lots of time left in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going for the simple one. Ooh. I think he's a bit under pressure. Come on, receive. Yeah, people are highlighting what Nigel's gonna play in his next turn on Twitch.
Yeah, the best move is very, very tricky. It's one of
Yeah.
those, if you actually look for the spot, but 99% of the time you don't look there.
Yeah. It's just. But yeah, just to quickly update on the standings, Nigel Richards is of course leading, 21 wins. Paul Gallen in second position with 19 wins. Dave Koenig on third with 18. Harshan on fourth with 17. David Eldar fifth with 16. And Wasim Khatri on sixth with 16 wins. And So is Imad Ali on 16 wins, and he's ranked 7th at the moment. So, woohoo! Ali Dangu 8. So these are the top 8 after round 26. Okay. Wow, more. Hmm.
Interesting choice.
Very. Probably the nerves.
Yeah, he had 3 bingos available, and that was the lowest scoring one by far. It does open
Yeah.
the triple lane. He maybe is thinking he needs a little bit of
Yeah.
volatility to get back in this thing.
Yeah.
The difficult bingo that scored 96 was steaming through the E, and Remora's making some parallel plays. Would have played for 96 points. Malting's just 65. And Nigel, of course, sitting with the blank on his rack. Does he have a triple-triple through that M?
No, but he does have.
Yeah, not much of a shuffle needed for Nigel to move from
Yeah.
decoding to comedian.
Wasim is probably cursing his luck just a little bit because he was a tile off picking re-teamed as the triple-triple. But it was not going to go there anyway because I think Nigel is going to jump in that spot.
So, good morning to everyone who has just joined us. I am Sumul Siddiqui. With me is Stefan Rao and Craig Beavers. This is game number 27 of the Mattel World Scrabble Championship 2019. You can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Please keep your comments coming in. If you want to message me personally, that's okay as well. But yeah, let us know how you think you're doing. Nigel 358 was 208. That's right. Just gonna go
So yeah, Nigel going for combined there, blank as a B.
Nigel
Just having a quick look at the tiles, lots of E's to come. Actually 7 E's,
Ooh.
not including the 4 that Wazzy is.
Yeah. Ooh, another blank for Nigel.
I'm starting to think this might be Nigel's game.
Yeah. I'm starting to think this might be Nigel's tournament. I heard he's a good player.
He is displaying some skill here.
Yeah. And he likes tea.
He does like tea.
I guess in Wazim's spot, you're just looking to maybe open up another 9-timer. The only sort of way you can catch up, really. But even at this stage, 245 points, even with a 9-timer, is going to struggle.
Yeah, he's just dumping some E's, playing D for 21 in the lower left corner. He had kind of a cute play available to him, playing Eatery through the A of Waqf and the I of Malting, making a few parallel plays. Style points.
Ooh, Wasim's not gonna be happy with the Y.
Well, he still actually has a 7, but it doesn't look like it's likely to play. But he does have a 7 there, this Wazim.
Um, 453 Nigel, 229 Wasim.
Yeah, nice spots in the chat of the 7 in the Twitch chat from Jello Mockers. That is indeed the 7 that Wazim has.
Ooh. Is it playable?
No, it's what it's. Those wondering, it's 2 years. Was a French word. Um, Lots of different spellings of it. It means a pipe through which air is forced into a blast furnace.
Okay.
Common everyday word.
Indeed, yeah. Um,
Is it?
some of the different spellings of it,
Yeah.
Twier, TWIER, TWEER, TWYER, or you can have another E on it. There's lots of different spellings. I always find those quite confusing in Scrabble, knowing which spellings are valid. Of course, Gonif is another one that has a lot of variant spellings.
Mm-hmm.
For those who are wondering what Gonif means, it just means a thief, basically. It's a Yiddish word.
Nigel opting for a very solid choice of TYE. Not only scores well, but blocks off the
Does.
main remaining bingo lane.
Um, would you play something like YU and YO just to open it up?
Yeah, that's certainly worth considering. I mean, it's a good leave.
Really.
22 points for AYE, making some underlaps there. Keeping the U, potentially thinking of maybe an out bingo starting from the O and Umbo.
Yeah, the only way that Wasim could really have got back in the game, I mean, is to play something like Yurt, but making YO, but he pretty much knows Nigel's not going to allow the 9 time to come down anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just playing for spread at this point.
Yeah. So.
And Wasim has, in fact, drawn a bingo starting with out, but I think he's going to be disappointed to find the spot no longer there when it's his turn.
Yes. So. You were right. Again.
Yeah, Nigel.
Just going down. Yes, it is.
Sonance, its anagrams. Santons would also go in the same spot, obviously.
67 for Nigel. And Nigel 547. And Wasim's not gonna be happy.
Yeah, I think Nigel chose that word because it was a little bit more defensive, a little bit harder to bonus
Yeah.
back against down the
Mhm.
sides. He's not worried about the triple word score because he knows Wasim is likely to have some sort of, well, a rack that he has now, with few scoring tiles, because obviously Nigel's just picked V and C. He knows Wasim's going to have quite a bonus-friendly rack with 1 pointers, so that A to play through is not a big threat. It's probably in Nigel's favour actually to have that open, because as you can see, he's picked the few scoring tiles left that are available.
Yes, 5 tiles in the bag now.
It's an excellent job of Nigel to save his worst rack of the game for when he's already got a 300-point lead. It's
Yeah.
something I try to do myself. It's a little bit more difficult to actually accomplish in real time.
It's Nigel for you.
Yeah. That's why he's sitting up at table 1 and I'm sitting here in the commentary room here.
You're doing a good job, you know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, Nigel, interesting. He left 5 vowels in the bag there. It's pickup.
Ooh. So Nigel 507, Wasim 272.
EII was not what Wasim was hoping to pick to that very promising SATE leave.
Yeah, from Nigel's perspective, there is still eateries left that could come down, but with U and the E in the bag. But other than that, I'm not seeing any other possible bonuses he could get hit by.
Still in the pool from Nigel's perspective, there could be something like rarities or stereo using that R to the triple. So, is he gonna try to block those possibilities? He doesn't seem overly worried.
So Nigel 573, Wasim 272.
Yeah, one of those where probably not
Yeah.
worth blocking. You really sacrifice so much to try and block a few percentage of bonuses, which obviously are going to be bad, but you give up so many points to block them, it's not worth it. So.
He's got a little bit of leeway in this game, so.
Yeah, he's got a nice buffer there. Just
Yeah,
300 points or so.
Yeah, if it were a 40-point difference, you might
Yeah.
have slightly different thinking, but
Yep.
Yeah, from Wazzy's perspective, I think you're happy to try and keep Nigel under 600 at this point, and just try and find a nice, easy out in 2 that scores reasonably well, and just plonk it down pretty quickly, really.
Yeah.
So it looked like he's looking at idea through the D and door, which you just played.
Yeah.
That would leave him pretty easy outs next turn. There is a very similar but slightly better play because there's a very cute spot to play off AITS, if anybody in the chat can find it. So if he plays off ID instead, that would leave AITS, which you can play for 27. That would be the ideal, but nothing too much to worry about this stage. You're just hoping to get the game over, really.
Idea for 11, so Wasim 283, Nigel 573.
Yeah, just on the YouTube chat, asking if anybody has played Super Scrabble. I have played it once, I think. Interesting variation. You get lots of nice bonuses now, which is fun. Yeah, I think I played it at the club against everybody else. But yeah, it does take quite a long time, which is the only drawback with it. But yeah, fun game.
Got the potential to score 1,000 points in a game of that. So many possibilities. They have the quadruple word scores at the corners of those boards, don't they?
Yep, and quadruple, triple, quadruple word scores and quadruple letter scores. So all sorts of things. And a lot of combinations too, of course.
And here we see Nigel playing Vug and Wasim responding with his highest scoring out of sight.
Yeah.
And that will be the end of the game.
578, 300.
What goes down?
He does successfully keep Nigel under 600. Small
Yes.
moral victory.
So Nigel 593, Wasim 303. And I'm gonna go in and speak to them, so stay tuned.
590. And 588.
547, right? And then
Yeah,
26,
26.
573,
Yep.
and 20,
2070. Okay. Right. 591.
Yeah. Okay, you're set.
Yep.
229,
228.
58,
Yes.
104,
It's 44.
46.
Oh, you're correct. Yeah. So it will be
104,
104, 39, 14365, 1208, 229, 251, 272, 283, 299, and 301. Okay. playing the phony. But what have you done? Is there anything other else?
Not really. You didn't when you were playing masting and others. You had a really nice option playing steaming, just above umbo.
Steaming?
Yes, from the. So you had umbo here.
Yeah.
UMBO. It goes right above it, steaming all the way here. So the G ends here.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was it. You can probably watch it live, but yeah.
Can't watch it live anymore. It's finished.
Catch up.
Steaming कहाँ था? UMBO.
UMBU के ऊपर लग रहा था. तो S UTU 2 U लगे हुए थे ना?
अच्छा यहाँ से.
हाँ EAMING 96 का लग रहा था. And amazing setup of the J.
पता था ना what it's
Yeah.
मैं पता था किसके. I know that.
That was the setup, yeah.
It's better than juking anyway.
It was. Why didn't you play juking?
Because I wanted to sit up for the biggest.
If that was me, I would block your setup
You would see that.
just to
You
have
would
fun.
see right through that.
Good game, guys. Well done. It's okay. 8 more games to go. 8 more games to go. You got this.
Only 8 to go.
Only 8 to go. Hello and welcome back, everyone. Good morning. I am Sumbul Siddiqui, and with me is Stefan Rao and Craig Beavers. Hello, guys.
Hello, Symbol. How are you?
I'm fine. So, welcome back to game number 28 between Dave Koenig and Paul Gallen. Should be another cracking game, and I think the news of the tournament right now is that Sayed Imad Ali beat David Alda in the last game. So he should be. I'm just waiting for the standings. He should be in top 4 or 5 now. So hoo go Imad. He is 13 years old, and me and Stefan were just having this conversation that on his first day of the Junior World Scrabble Championship, he only won 4 games, and in the World Scrabble Championship, I mean this one, he won 4 games on his first day as well. So yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, good result. On 17 wins now, so probably only needs another
Yes.
4 to make it into that top 8.
Do you think he's gonna make it to top 8?
Oh, that's a difficult one. 50-50, I would say. 50-50.
50-50,
He's
yeah.
obviously got to win 4, lose 4, so it's probably a little bit in his favour, I think. David Eldar as well, that's his 5th loss in a row now, so he's having a
Yeah.
little bit of a struggle, but he's still clinging on to the 7th place, but he's going to pick things up a bit to make the finals.
Dave Koenig to start.
So the König, as he will tell you, means king in German. He's going to vie to become the king of Scrabble here.
Ooh,
Um,
interesting.
gallon, I believe, means 4 quarts. Sorry. I had to sneak a pun in there. I'm sorry.
My face. um,
Dave demonstrating excellent tile drawing technique. Back
Yep.
above eye level, averting his eyes, and let's see if he has given himself a good opening rack.
Not the best, but I'm
He's
sure.
given himself a decidedly okay opening.
Okay opening, yeah.
No bonuses on offer there. A few ways he could balance and score. He's got Pilau lined up. And that goes down pretty quickly.
Dave 28.
That being one of many spellings of the rice dish, pilaf.
Yeah.
Not an alternate spelling of the pillow that you would sleep on at night.
It's actually quite a nice dish. Definitely worth eating as well.
And Paul has given himself a decidedly not very okay opening rack.
Indeed, 2 wide, not correct, and so we look at the either. We'll just see what plays Dave's you in 200 all actually ends up blocking it in as a
Will Paul block that P?
It's going to be tricky. Paul's lined up hay, which is a very good spot and fits nicely over Pilau, but is not going to block that P. So it's a very nice move, but it's not going to work out for him.
Yep. Goes down for 43, so Paul 43, Dave 28.
also mentioned chat was a bonus through the L regular line.
Yep.
If that had stayed open, but Pure Ring is going to go down very quickly.
Yeah.
Small consolation for Paul. It does give him a nice spot for his queue.
It does indeed. Yeah. Dave 114. Dave 114.
And of course, if he does play QI, David has already picked out a J to make Jin and JA. So, yeah, it looks like that sequence could be happening.
Another ugly rack for Paul.
Yeah, it's a,
Kind of ugliness all around at this
yeah,
point.
if that,
Yeah.
That just means there's good
Yeah.
stuff to come.
yeah, if that U hadn't was available, Paul would have loved to have played Hokkito through it, but it's not in a very helpful spot for his Q. So here comes QI.
Which should be met pretty quickly with the big J play.
Yep. J-O. Ooh, J. Would you play J-A or J-O?
Just as a general rule, I'd rather get rid of the O than the A.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an ugly leave either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Generally the A is a better tile. The O does go better with a U, but you've also got an I as well. So, I mean, if you play J O, you've got Wave with an A in it, AI as next turn, which not great, but something a little bit to think about. You just hope for some better titles, really, whichever you play, really.
What could be a consideration in his mind is even looking forward to next turn, keeping the O. He can play off Varal through that R. I mean, he's got a terrible rack that he may well have to exchange from, but that might bail him out, having that possibility.
Yeah, and Varau would keep things tight, which is obviously in his favour, given the scoreline that is a good bonus size early lead. So you might be thinking of that two place combination. Plenty of duplicates for Paul, meanwhile.
Yeah, 3 pairs. It would be a decent poker hand, not so great in Scrabble. He's got some ways to clean things up. It looks like he's lining up Cootie into the E. Relatively modest 16 points, but IT is probably about as good a leave as you can hope for with this kind of rack.
Yeah, and it opens up
Yeah.
a little bit. The C makes it tricky to totally shut down that area, so seems reasonable.
The S might be useful for Koenig in the next few moves.
It's not the greatest time to have an S. Not really a whole lot of spots that it's going to be super useful at this point. Always nice to see it show up, though.
Always, yeah.
Unfortunately, it does not break up the VWOU tiles. Those are still unfortunately stuck on his rack.
Yeah.
And the Vral spot has now been taken away from him. He might just play off Val through that O and Cootie, just to get rid of the two most troublesome tiles.
Yeah, that would also help to block things quite well, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it seems a reasonable option, certainly.
that would lock that whole quadrant up pretty tight.
Paul has drawn a 7, but I'm not
Yeah.
seeing where it would play at this stage.
And Dave does indeed go with Val.
Yep, seemed as good as anything.
Mm-hmm.
The only downside really was it left them a little bit vulnerable to the sort of wreck he's now picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Why he's not going to be able to score much, but it's not an imminent worry because it's unlikely that Paul's going to get his bonus down, and if you're in a situation where the bonus is going to open up a triple, then you want some clunky tiles to kind of hit back with, but bonus looks likely at this point.
Mm-hmm. This
So
is already starting to become
you can wait.
This is starting to become a fairly hostile board for bonuses, which is bad news for Paul at this point.
Yeah, but at least he's got options to kind of open things up with parallels above hay. He should be able to open up a little bit. They've got the A to go above the HI, Ahi.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some options there. He could go even more aggressive and play to the right, making something with EW. Like Dog, for instance, but that would be a bit too open, but something along those lines would open things up. But the L would be better in some sense because the L, if he plays something like Log, I mean Log is too open, but Log would open up 2 lanes basically, so he's not in too bad a shape. It's just his rack isn't that great either. So other than of course having Dogtail, which doesn't play, but he's not in too bad shape. And Paul is used to playing on boards like these. He's usually the one that's 80 points up, but he is very good on the sort of controlled boards, and yeah, he's good for a Logia. He's quite nice in the bottom left corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Paul. So Dave 183, Paul 130.
So a Logia would give Dave somewhere to play off AIA. Another place. I mean, he also has a Val as well to kind of look at. He might want to play AUA there, for instance. He's pretty a little bit worried about above he, the HI, but It's not really that great for bonuses yet, other than ING bonuses. Anything like ER, ES, none of the things are going to fit. It's more of a spot to kind of score off at this point, rather than a sort of good bonus lane. So.
Right. It's an ugly rack, perhaps not quite dire enough that he needs to exchange. He's got a few spots that he could dump off AUA just to clean things up a little bit. He's not going to score a ton with this rack. But if he can find one of those placements that's going to give him a few points and not really offer much back, then that's probably a perfectly fine move.
Yeah, I mean, AUA making a vow to the right would pretty much not give anything away. Blocks the T as well. The N isn't a bad consonant on this board because of the QI spot. If he picks up another N, then he's got something like An, making Jin with two N's and Chin with the QIN. So the N's pretty good at this stage. You know, he's got insurance if he picks out some duplicates.
And sure enough, there goes Awa. You know you've got a bad rack when Quackle's top 4 suggestions are all various placements of AUA.
Yeah.
But that'll do the job just fine for Dave with that rack. Has opened up a very dangerous lane though for a 7-letter bingo ending in P. Just gotta be very careful with that.
Ooh. The P might be more valuable than the blank and the S at this point.
So yeah, looks like Paul's lining up a trad with Dal and Ahi.
Yep.
Looks like what he's looking at now.
Looks like a solid move. It's gonna open up a lane that's a little bit easier to hit for a bingo.
Yeah, and then even if he doesn't get the bingo down, it puts the R in a nice position for the triple word score. So even if he doesn't get a bonus, he could play a 6-letter word onto the R, and that would help to open things up as well. So it opens up things in many ways.
It does good things for Paul. Yep, and there we go with trad. 23 points.
Which makes Dave 196, Paul 153.
Yeah, no 7s for Dave, but he's got a good rack. He's in one of those situations where he'd love to see an E to really give him that bonus potential.
Yeah.
And because he's basically in a situation where he knows it could get blown open at any point with something played with E, W, and Y in that A spot. If something goes across there, he wants to have ammunition to come back with. And he knows now he's got trad open. His S is a good tile now. Well, it was always a good tile, but it's got a nice lane for 7s now. So he knows that Paul's going to keep opening. So he knows he's going to get an opportunity if he does get a bonus rack.
Yeah, Quackle had suggested coming down to the that R and try with Mirror, but Dave is certainly not going to be wanting to blow the board wide open like that. He instead goes with Corno in the lower left to keep things tight. It's the second game in a row we've seen Corno get played.
Yep.
Yeah, meanwhile, hideous pickups at both sides. Obviously, they won't know how bad the other player's style is, but yeah, horrible pickups for both players. All of Paul's options, I mean, the ones I'm seeing, it's that spot above here again, maybe dab or something like that. He probably doesn't want to do that with such a horrible lead. Or he may be forced into it because his other options are so bad. But the other option is you could play something onto the Y,
Yeah, he's got
laddie or
Blady
something
lined
like
up.
that, baddie, ballsy, lady, yeah.
So
I
Dave
think I'd prefer
215.
bladey.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think prefer bladey to or baddie. I'd rather not leave that A there, but
Paul 177.
I think Dave just said hold,
Good.
but I think he might have quickly released it.
Yeah, I mean baddie obviously scores a little bit more with using both Ds, so it's a little bit better in that sense. The A is in a kind of it's not a big danger given Dave just played off ORN, which doesn't suggest he's keeping a Z back or anything particularly clunky. He's probably been massaging his rack, which he has done, but it's just a little bit easier to kind of score off baddie for
Yeah.
Dave, and also block in the same move. But okay, interesting.
Dave has the pair of S's, so he spends one with Grimm's.
Is that a hold? Because I think this word is not good.
Yeah, it would seem that Dave has just played a non-word.
Ooh. And that's challenged off.
Oh
So
boy.
Dave 215 and Paul 177.
Wow, that's a big swing.
That is, yeah. It's probably going to change the game.
I mean, that just gives Paul a bit of momentum. He's been sort of 60, 70, 80 points down, where he's had horrible wrecks. He's been feeling, even if he gets that good pickup and he gets a bonus, he's still going to be behind, and this is going to just give him a little bit of a lift, I think, and help him get in a situation where he thinks, if I get that bonus, I'm favourite again. And it also gives him a bit of knowledge, of course, of what Dave has. And obviously, he knows he has an S. Not a big deal at this stage, but
And you might even infer that he's got the second S.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially.
yeah.
Paul's got another 3 pairs rack.
Yeah, it's kind of like mahjong a little bit. Although it's like triples and doubles, but yeah, not good for Scrabble.
No. Not favorable.
Suggestions of Tiller in chat to open things up. Also obscures that S, which might be to his advantage.
Hello and welcome to everyone who has just joined us. I am Sumbul Siddiqui. With me is Stefan Rao and Craig Beavers. And this is game number 28 of the Metal World Scrabble Championship. Today is the final day. We are going to play 35 games before the top 8 are decided. So Dave 215, Paul 198. He can still play Grim, but that would...
Paul would have liked to take advantage a little bit more of the miscue by Dave, but unfortunately with the rack of 1-point tiles and no
Yeah.
bingo, there's only so much he can do. 21 points, and opening up some lanes is certainly moving things in the right direction for him. Dave's going to block things up pretty quickly with Grim. And we know that he can't put an S on that.
Yeah, another duplicate pickup for Paul. Fs are actually one of the few where a second F is actually better than the first. I think it's probably the only tile where the duplicate is better than the first one.
Yeah.
2 Ns and 2 everything else is bad, but
And will
because of the
help
synergy with
Paul's
2
score.
Fs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lined up naff, I guess.
Yeah, NAF looks like a pretty strong standout move, keeping a very strong NEST leave.
And it doesn't seem like Dave has anything. Ooh.
Yeah, earlier in the tournament we had B Aziz, of course, but there's no B this time.
Yep. Dave 226, Paul 226.
Let's see if Nest will develop into anything good for Paul. Not being done any favors.
No, but at least he'll feel a lot better now that he's level with Dave. Dave's getting a situation where he's almost hurting himself with the blocks, but now he's got to a point where Paul is finally got the sort of start of a nice bonus friendly rack, but he's still picking horrible things to do with it.
So Dave will again play it safe, blocking that F in the triple lane, and keeping a strong leaf himself of SEER.
Yeah. Not a high scoring game as seems. So Dave 247, Paul 226.
Yeah, just getting back to that point about Dave is he's in blocking mode, but he's getting to a point where Paul is caught up and he has to really think more about scoring as well as not just blocking outright.
Blocking is no longer strictly to his advantage.
Yeah, I mean he always had pretty reasonable tiles as well, and as we could see, Paul had absolute horror tiles, but Paul's done a really good job of basically eating that lead without really having anything. The kind of implied threat of needing to get a bonus and Dave kind of focused on blocking has kind of eroded that lead quite a lot, as well as Forney, of course.
Interesting choice of event from the E. He also could have played the same 4 tiles, hooking Grim to make Grime for a few more points.
Yeah, I mean, event obviously opens up a little bit, but not massively so. I mean, it's more of a threat than anything. I think it's more of a psychological opening than anything else. It doesn't really do much for him. It's very difficult to hit that S in the 4th spot for a bonus. I mean, it can happen, but
very difficult
tricky.
now with Dave going with EUK as a parallel play there.
Yes. So Dave 275, Paul 242.
Paul's got to be starting to get a little bit frustrated here. He's continuing to keep strong leaves and continuing to not hit them.
Ooh.
Ooh, and Dave's just drawn
Wow.
both blanks.
Yeah, that's very much an overkill rack.
Yeah.
Such a good rack. You might even think about just scoring off it and not even bothering to bonus immediately. But obviously, it's Paul to go next with an X. For Paul, he's really struggling to really do anything with only the 1 vowel. He has got a nice little hook there that you probably want to play if he spots. It's kind of slightly tricky to spot, but that gin spot looks inviting for the X. Because he doesn't really want to block that G, but so he's gone for Muntu instead.
Dave 275, Paul 256. Ooh.
Oh dear. Well, he's got that P hook.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I don't think he's going to be celebrating quite yet.
So, Dave, I mean, I think Geyser was mentioned in chat. That's for me. But I'd be very tempted by something like Reds making Seifs in the top right, but do you just play the bonus? I don't know.
Yeah, he's got plenty of bonuses from the G. Geyser, as was pointed out, is the best. It's the only one that puts an actual letter rather than the blank on the double word or double letter score.
Yeah, I mean, you're more worried about what letter you leave last for the triple word in the last column. So, like, guys would leave a D at the end. That wouldn't
It's a
be
bit more
great. You try to
favorable.
leave something like an N. Yeah. So it's a tricky one. I would be very tempted by Reds now. Reeds making Redes and Cease. I mean, it's got 27 points, but you are a little bit concerned that your opponent gets a G bonus, and they leave you no sort of counterplay, even with
Yep.
2 blanks. There's lots of ways to see it. From Dave's perspective, he knows that Paul needs to open at some point, so he knows either the worst case scenario, if he does something like reds and reads and gets hit with a G bonus, that would be obviously a horrible combination, but if he plays that and there's a bonus reply, and there's not a bonus reply and Paul is going to force an opening, the obvious spot to open would be the bottom left, maybe, to score. So, like, for instance, like David has real or seal with 2 E's in that spot. Real, for instance, would open it up. They might expect Paul to play some sort of similar play like that, to open up at some point and score 20 plus. Those are sort of expected responses you would expect if you didn't go for the bonus. But all the sort of bonus plays look like they give something back, at least something to hit back. Obviously, if he doesn't immediately get hit by a return bonus, he's going to close that down anyway, but either way, he's kind of got to hold his breath to see what Paul does in response.
He's probably also considering whether there's any possibility of playing a bonus along going down, hooking the S on EUK, and also hooking the S on a blank S on event.
Yeah.
Would be more defensive if you can find it. There is nothing that fits there, but it's certainly something that Dave would look for to see if it's there. From Dave's perspective, it's actually a pretty balanced tile pool, so Paul could have bingos from the G that he would have to worry about.
Yeah, and he's also got to worry about the Z. If he sticks in E next to that triple ladder, then he could get hit by 60 plus Z play. So that's probably why he's just took back greenest. He's probably thinking of greenest, and yeah, anything with a Z is going to score 60 plus, so he's got that to worry about as well.
It's another advantage of Geyserd. Geyserd is probably the most difficult to see of the bingos that he's got available.
Yeah.
What are the blanks?
It looks like he circled B and O for Grebos. That might be the cutest of the bingos available.
Could be greenies, grebos.
And unbeknownst to Dave, he really doesn't have a whole lot to worry about with what's sitting on Paul's rack right now.
Yeah.
Dave might get hit with a mess of vowels since all the consonants are already in Paul's possession.
Yeah, I think a change would be an option here. Probably, I don't know. If you change, what would you keep?
Anything at this point would be a fairly low probability to work. I mean, strictly from an equity standpoint, you probably keep SR.
Yeah.
But knowing that if he hits a bingo, it's got to score some points. It can't just be a bingo. He's trailing by 90. It's got to be a heavy bingo. So he might keep the H to maybe hope he can have something coming down to that S in Grebos. So maybe you keep SH.
I mean, we can see from the unseen tiles there's 7 in the bag.
He's got
usually,
just enough to exchange.
It's an interesting. Yeah, but the only 1 point consonant left is a T. All the rest Z, B, C, D. They're all sort of more awkward tiles. You might like the H for some sort of CH combination.
Mhm.
That would give him a good chance of getting that high scoring bonus, but he knows that chances are David's going to block that S in the triple lane. That's the big threat, so he's probably trying to think of some way to open up something else, even if it leaves him 5 consonants. Or he's probably looking at that OW. Can he play anything through there which will open something else up? Something like Sean, for instance, because he's going to need a second opening, most likely, or he's going to need to score enough that he has some other way, like if he picks the Z, for instance,
Yeah.
to keep in touch, basically.
Yeah, Shown is an interesting possibility, opening up that second S spot. It's worth noting that pretty much all of Quackle's suggestions are exchanges.
Yeah.
For scoring, it suggests SH at 14M, but he's not going to do that. That's silly. Overtop the OE of Griebos, he's not going to shuttle lane down like that.
But I'm sure he can score enough with the Z and the X if Dave cannot score. So
Mm-hmm.
just to catch up and yeah, let's see what he does. Did Imad beat Harshan? People in the chat are telling me that they did. I don't know.
He did, yep. 462 to 406.
Oh wow, he beat Harshan. Wow, this kid is on fire.
Yes, looks like it's put him up to 4th as well. It's
Yeah.
good going.
Indeed.
He goes with Shown.
Yeah, the 90 point difference in there really is something. Otherwise, goes over the 37 miles for him to hit a big score and bonus. That's the only other factor is the ways to catch up are really a big score and a bonus, or a huge scoring bonus,
Mm-hmm.
but on its own. Those are the only two really ways you can catch up. And he's also got to worry about the Z. The Z instantly kills the game if Dave has it. But it's going to be very difficult.
And Paul has not hit a miracle miracle draw for a bingo, nor has he picked the Z. Sorry, the Z.
Yeah.
I'm in England. I got to call it the Z. The Izzard.
The Isid. Yeah, Dave does have a high scoring move here, but is he gonna block the S or is he gonna score?
Yeah, there were things Paul could hit. I mean, with the S in both spots, he knows if he gets a bonus in one, he's going to have a bonus in both positions. You could pick out vowels for things like exposers and expressos mentioned in chat. You could have picked out the T, which might have helped him with a few options. You've got things like sparaxis, praxises, and things like that. So he had things he could hit, but they're all pretty slim odds, really. Priority for Dave really is to, with the 4 tiles left in the bag, he doesn't want to create a situation where If he leaves both S's open, for instance, he knows Paul can then empty the bag knowing he'll have a spot for a bonus. So he's got two options, really. He can try and block one of the S's, which seems a bit pointless maybe, unless it ticks other boxes. Like obviously the S in the final column is going to be more dangerous because it's got the double letter as well, so it's going to score a bit more there. He does definitely want to try and leave one in the bag. If he leaves two in the bag and leaves that Z spot open, then he could get hit by Z or ZA or whatever for 60 plus. So he doesn't want to leave that possibility open. But also, if he leaves one in the bag, and say Paul just dumped off the Z, and he's still got two S's, then he's still got a situation where Paul can bonus on either spot. So he probably wants to block the E and play off 3 tiles, which he's gone for 2 instead. Interesting. I couldn't really play with the B, I guess. He could only play D or to block, I suppose. Because he could have played the more indirect block would have been to play underneath event. Then he could have played off 3 tiles and left one in the bag and so on. But as I say, given there's 2 S's on either side, it's not a big help to leave one in the bag because he's got 2 spots anyway. So.
And as so often happens, he blocks the Z spot and then immediately picks the Z.
Yeah. Dave 362. Paul 270.
Yeah, but he's going to be happy enough with that set, I think.
Yeah.
He's got lots of scoring, so he's pretty much GG at this point. Good game, game over.
Yeah.
But as Paul does, he hangs in with games like this, even when he's had such bad racks. He's managed to keeps it sort of tightish, where it's not totally closed, but it's pretty awkward, and he just keeps a hook in the game, and you never know if he picks something at the end, he's still in the game to win it. Obviously, it hasn't happened for him at all in this game.
If there's something he could fish for, the good news is that he's still going to have one of those S's to play to. The bad news is even if he hits something, it's not going to be enough. I mean, he's got a 92-point deficit here. He's just not going to have enough points from that bingo to actually win the game.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting choice.
And there is AE left in the bag, so it looks like he's going to hit something here.
Oh, is he going to have praxises to go out? Oh, interesting.
Would that be enough?
Now, Dave's going to have cozies down to that S in shown, so he's going to score a ton of points with that.
Yeah.
So Paul should be able to bingo out on the other side of the board, but will it be enough? Most likely not.
Yeah, a little bit hidden Zuicia, which he has lined up. It not only has it over the top of the event, he actually has it in the top left corner as well, making it ag. A little bit easy to overlook that, but that is his best scoring player.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got plenty of possibilities to score a lot of points with that Zed.
So yeah, for anybody wondering what Zuicia means, it's a Greek word, plural of Zuicium, It's a sac lived in by an aquatic organism. There you go.
Yep.
And here
It's
it comes
going down there
for
for 63 points. Parishes does score over 100, but it's not gonna win the game for.
probably the most meaningless 104 point out bingo you'll ever
Yes,
see.
yeah, 104 points. 104 for Parishes and 425 Dave, 394 Paul.
The good stuff waited just a little bit too long to come out for Paul.
Yeah.
You want to score those 100-point bingos a little earlier in the game when it still makes more of a difference.
Yep.
But he did a good job of staying with it, even though he was, as Craig said, fighting through some very awful stuff for a long
Ooh.
time there.
He's challenging it.
Oh, he's challenging it. So maybe it'll be a 109-point play.
So, yeah. Still useless. Didn't help him. 425, 399.
Yep.
Good game. And I am going to go and try to speak to them. Stay tuned, and I'm going to see you at 11.
Okay.
Or 5 past. Don't know. Take care.
Or even here, just to be safer not to put the S out there. Yeah, if I still had the U, I would have been sub-seer.
Nice.
Yeah. How's it going?
Can I speak to you guys? It's okay?
Sure.
Paul, you okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just want to know your thoughts about the game. I know, of course, it was a difficult game for you. We're looking at your racks, and it wasn't going in your favor, probably from 0-1. And of course, the double blanks did do a favor to you.
Oh yeah, I mean I got them both at the same time there, just on that turn.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not sure I did the right thing. I would have preferred to bingo in a way that did not dangle the S out there.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't find a good bingo. There's one ending in the A here, or here, or here, but it was tricky to fit. And it was like, to his credit, he had been blocking the other lanes, so I
Yeah.
kind of had to take this one. But that was sort of a double-edged sword for him, because
Yeah.
once I got up by the bingo, it meant that it was a hard board for him to come back on.
Yeah.
But he did a really nice job, creating the second S hook.
Yeah.
And I saw in the end game there, the Z and the X and some not great bingo tiles, but bingoable tiles were out there.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to play more for offense than defense. I couldn't afford to just try to shut it down, because he might hit the Z play, and that would be enough to catch him up even without a bingo. But I recognized I had a good shot for a big tile play too, right? I could draw a bingo myself, or with the
Yeah.
X or Z, get a big play myself. So I went for offense, and it worked out. We both got offense in the end.
It did.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out for you.
Yeah.
Not you.
Yeah, I was happy to get practices done at the end there. I was playing for it, just to try and narrow the spread. I think it would have been more interesting if I'd got it down a turn before,
Yeah.
maybe something like that, catch me with the Z. But didn't happen.
I wish I hadn't played Grimm's. I had a little bit of doubt in my head when I played it, but I thought, be Grimm is a verb. I thought Grimm was probably a verb, but he knew it right away. And I wasn't sure if this was both Y or IE or only that way. I was probably just going to give you 5 points on it. It's good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about
Yeah,
it.
it's both ways.
Good game, guys.
Thank you.
Keep it up. All the best.
Oh,
7 to go.
thanks. Thank you.
424 to 391. 26 spread.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Metal World Scrabble Championship 2019. So now we finally have the young Nigel, as Amy puts it, versus Harshan. So Syed Imad Ali versus Harshan Lambadousuria. Would be a good game because Imad is having a good run today. In his first game, he beat David Elder, then he beat Harshan, and he's playing Harshan again. So fingers crossed, and yes, keep your comments coming in. Keep telling us what you think. Interact with us. You can watch it on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So yes, people are telling me I didn't tell Dave Koenig what he missed. I am so sorry, but now I've been instructed not to tell anyone what they've missed because these games are crucial and that can put them off. I know they're top players, so they're gonna go and check themselves, and I'm not gonna risk it, and I don't want to hurt anyone or make anyone feel bad, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna ask how they feel about the game, what are their thoughts, why did they play that kind of things. If you have any questions, please ask me because we are still waiting for the two players to settle down. And I can see Harshan walking past, so we should be on any minute. I am Sumu Siddiqui. With me is Stefan Rao and Craig Beavers. Hello, guys.
Hello.
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 Yes, thoughts on Imad?
It's obvious that you got to be excited about a 13-year-old kid doing this well in the World Champions.
Yeah.
He's already the World Youth Scrabble champion.
Yeah.
Looking to add yet another title to his trophy case at such a young age. It's really impressive.
Definitely, yes.
Indeed, yeah, and he got off to quite a tricky start in this tournament as well. Have a look at his record. He won the first game, then lost the next four, which is always it's always a tough thing to do. You always go through a tournament like this. Chances are at some point you're gonna have a rough run, but obviously he's come back very well, and he's in fourth at the moment, so he's looking good for the knockouts.
Yeah. He does seem a bit sleepy at this point, but I'm sure that's going to be okay. I was telling Stefan earlier on, he is a bit shy and has that kind of introvert personality. He takes his time to, mix with people, making friends as well. So, yeah, he is, I would say, a young genius, or a young Nigel, as Amy says. Wow. I'm hoping for another good game.
I'm pretty sure we have a matchup of the longest last name and shortest last name in the tournament right here.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yes, that's true. Let me have a look. So we have we have 9 games today, which means
9 games. Yeah, we've played 2, so
played 2. This is game number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And just for anyone who's not familiar with the format, we're not going to be crowning our champion today. At the end of today, we'll have the top 8 moving on to the playoff bracket, which will play out on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. So, yes. Harshan's here. Can you put a selfie of you and Stefan online so we can see the setup there? Just want to see what shirt Stefan is wearing. I like his choice of shirts, yes. I can do that. I think I have one from yesterday. I might be able to put it up on my Facebook, and yeah, feel free to go and like it. Give me a few minutes, please. I know I'm a social media queen, but yeah, I still need a few minutes.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to see what I'm wearing. I'll decline my.
Just describe it for us.
Taking a photograph. I'm wearing my I think World Festival of Scrabble. I can't really even remember. Was that 2009 or was it more recent? 2009, 2010.
Okay.
I think it was the one where it was Causeway and the World Championships in Malaysia. It might have been that one, or maybe something else. Got so many Scrabble T-shirts.
Yeah.
Forget where they're all from.
They tend to accumulate over the years.
Yeah.
All right, we are ready to rock and roll. Imad will go first here.
Let's do this.
So yeah, he's got two Fs, A-U-I-N-E, just in case you're struggling to see what he's got while he's playing around with the tiles.
He's got E-N-U-F-F lined up. E-N-U-F is a word and N-U-F-F is a word, but I do not believe E-N-U-F-F is good.
And meanwhile, Harshan has lined up Garot, or you can have Garota with one R. So he's going to love to see that E, but it does not go down.
Ooh. He knows what to play. I mean, he's guessing.
Yeah, strictly from a scoring point of view, his best play would have been a fine, A-F-F-I-N-E, but that would have obviously worked out much more unfavorably, as it would have allowed Harshan to get down Garrett. Another one of those words that has a whole bunch of different spellings.
Yeah, also mentioned in chat from Affis was Gratois, and I would have given him a bonus as well, so he's dodged a few there, dodged a few bullets as Imad. That kind of highlights the opening plays. I was a little bit different in Scrabble because it has such a strategical weight in terms of what you play, because your opponent exclusively plays off whatever you play on the after you make your opening play. So something defensive like off has a lot more value than you would expect than compared to something like affine, which obviously scored a lot more, but gave a lot more floating tiles. It's a lot easier to parallel and so forth. So the opening moves always a little bit interesting.
What would you do, Craig, personally?
With Harshan's rack?
Oh, I mean with Imad's rack.
That's a tricky one. I mean, I would probably be tempted by affine. I tend to just, like, particularly at this stage, I tend to just take some score and not worry too much about what my opponent's going to do. But I think there's lots of reasonable options to that one, and I think it sort of comes down to strategy, personal strategy, and personal taste. But I would have probably thrown down a fine pretty quickly and just hope for something nice. I mean, a fine would also have set up potentially, depending on where you play, it could have set up the set as well. And there's a lot of openings it creates, so.
Harshan goes with the perfectly good play of Gart, undoubling the R's and the T's, scoring 17 points.
Indeed, and gat is a little bit tricky because it's a four-letter word that only takes one hook, but
Yeah.
it does not take an S. So it's a
Ooh.
little bit tricky in that respect. So you have to be want to be careful of. And if you feel like your opponent might not have, obviously Nigel, something like Nigel's going to have perfect knowledge, but something like that can always catch people out. So it's always nice to have something like that, particularly if you know the hooks yourself, you're confident of them. It's always nice to leave a little bit of a booby trap there for your opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gart is the past tense of the verb gar. So no S hook.
Yeah, the Nata would love to get rid of the F and the V together.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do much for his bonus potential, but he's probably going to have to sacrifice quite a lot of points to do that. He has got that triple word you can hit with something like ease. It's got to score pretty well, but not leave something particularly nice, leaving thin.
Right,
So
right.
interesting to see what he goes with here.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to sort of bite the bullet and keep either the F or the V for next turn, unless he wants to make a suboptimal play like 5, making EA. He takes 22 points for EF as an overlap.
Yeah, that's I think it keeps quite a nice leave, and he knows he's probably going to be able to hit that triple if it stays open. And it doesn't give much away either, playing EF, so if he picks something nice, he's also got the FA, he can play Father or Father there, so he's could do pretty well over the next 2 turns.
Harshan has just missed drawing Janitor. He's got Jot lined up, probably his best scoring move, tripling the J and hooking the T on the front of EA.
Yeah, he was looking at Trojan through the T and Gart. That is quite open. Obviously leaves it one short of the triple line along the bottom. So if your opponent has an S, for instance, that'd be pretty dangerous.
Yeah,
Also,
always
it's always a
difficult
nice
to,
opening. Yeah.
yeah, it's difficult to open up a juicy S hook like that when you don't have an S. Potentially, you could also play
Yeah.
Trojan. Trojan coming down to hook the N on the front of F.
Yeah.
Not a great scoring
Yeah,
move, but at least it flushes the rack, gives him a nice fresh start. And he seems he's cycling through all these possibilities as we discuss them.
Yeah, and I mean Trojan in that spot, it wouldn't really give much to the triple. I mean, it does open up the triple word, but with the R there, it makes it fairly difficult to access.
Yeah.
And there's also another triple word score open anyway, and neither of them are particularly big deal. The floaters it gives away, the TRO is reasonable, but the J and the double W line isn't too bad. So.
So 22 points, and he'll get mostly a fresh start with his next rack. The quick Quackle Sim is putting the 2 placements of Trojan as well as Jot is pretty close at the top as his best possibilities. Imad is a little bit vowel heavy, and it's not necessarily a bad thing with the V. The V tends to be a bit of a vowel sponge. He can also play off 6 tiles and play javelin from that J to get kind of a turn over some tiles and see what else he can get out of the bag. And it scores a nifty 34.
Yeah, javelin would be a nice play. Also interesting, it takes an A hook.
Mm-hmm.
It should be something to keep an eye on. Harshan not picked. Mixed blessings with Harshan.
Yeah.
With his rack.
Yeah. Lovely to see the blank show up like that, but not when it's keeping such rough company.
Yeah, he's got some utility. That H hook, that guard only takes the H hook, so H is going to be a nice thing as well as the blank, but the rest of
Definitely.
his rack, not so much.
Alright, so that H hook is no longer particularly useful. Evil for 27 points, keeping AIN.
Yeah, keep things a little bit more tight than Javelin would. Two reasonable moves, Javelin and Evil, really. Not a great deal between them. Again, a little bit comes down to personal preference and style.
This is a spot where I think Harshan is going to be strongly considering an exchange. He can get rid of the Q just to, get it over and done with, but just for 11 points for QI or 12 points for QIN. And you're not really keeping a good leave with that, so is that even worth it? If he exchanges, he might just keep the blank. Personal preference, some people might like the H as a hedge in case you don't draw a bingo with it. You can at least have some scoring possibility.
Yeah, meanwhile, Imad is picked very well. He's got a nice 8 waiting to go down. It looks like he's likely to get it down as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that Harshan would even consider doing that would interfere with that line at all.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to have an early lead as Imad. Harshan with some power to hit back. It looks like he's going to plump for QIN. This is a tricky one. It's very hard for me to even evaluate this position, because how often do you keep something like HYBD blank? How do you weigh that up against an exchange? It's very difficult to kind of make a choice that you're sure of is the best one.
Yeah, if he makes that move, if he plays off QIN, then his thinking is going to be that he's going to try to just score in the interim with those heavy tiles, and maybe try to play a bingo, certainly not next turn, but maybe the turn after. Okay. And he does decide to dump the Q.
Yeah.
Reasonable to just get that out of the way and not have to worry about it possibly coming up in a tough spot in the end game. And Imad's next turn should not require a whole lot of thought. Should come pretty quickly. He is relaxing or exalting his possibilities, but there's no reason not to just take the extra 12 points for relaxing.
Yes, and Harshan has lined up Herd Boy, but it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere.
Yeah, what was that I was just saying, that he would that he's not going to draw a bingo in the first turn after QIN, but lo and behold, it actually did develop into one, unfortunately, which doesn't fit on the board.
Yeah, but at least he's. The main thing was to pick a vowel, and he's done that, and he's got at least some sort of counterplay with all those 4-pointers, 3-pointers. At least he can hit back above the top of relaxing and keep things within the bonus.
Yeah, Yob over top relaxing scores 42 points.
Yeah, it's really between Yob or Hob, I think. Do you prefer to keep dry? Gives you a bit more insurance.
Ordinarily, you would think an H would be a better tile to keep than a Y, although with that spot alongside Trojan with the O sitting next to the double letter score, you might think keep the Y to pick perhaps the T for Toei.
Yeah.
Not going to be the biggest factor in the
work.
world, but it's something something that he'll certainly have at least in the back of his mind.
Yeah, I mean Yob may be a little bit more awkward but Yob would make it a little bit harder to access that top lane. YA probably takes fewer hooks than HA, but does it matter that much compared to the rack leave? Rack leave might take priority. It's 6 and 2-3 though. They'll probably go either way.
Whichever he chose to do, his best move is going to be in that spot anyway. So, Yob, I think, is probably, all things considered, the way I would go as well. Imad has also drawn a
Yeah, it just looks better with not
also with not such a great rack to go with it.
Yeah.
But he can console himself with a cool 45 points for Weem.
Yep, that was definitely the choice, I think. Harsh and still a little bit consonant heavy. 2D's not helping. Doesn't have much to access the top right spot. So. But there is a nice bonus which slots in very neatly. And that would be a brilliant spot if you could get it.
Yeah, a little bit of a tough spot, but ooh, does he see it? Does he see it? Looks like he's lining it up. And after doing a quick check to make sure there's nothing better, it looks like he's going to go down with dihedral. It was, in fact, his only bonus available.
Yep.
Not a super high scoring bingo, but a bingo nonetheless, and a good find for Harshan.
So, Imad 190, Harshan 160.
And Again, a bit of a clunker of a rack to go with that blank for Imad. We'll see how he deals with this.
Yes, picked out WIB, which wasn't very nice, but gives him some scoring potential at least. V, W, and B, probably among the three worst consonants you could have, but you should be able to at least get rid of two of them here.
And is that a 7 on Harshan's rack?
It is.
Ooh.
It is, yeah.
Silly as the word looks, pus-like is an actual word.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Imad looks like he's leaning towards
Yeah,
bawdy.
there's a lot of... Yeah, I mean, he's pretty focused on getting rid of the V and one of the B or the W, something like Y. He wouldn't pick something like view, because view takes a Y hook and an S. So
Yeah, he could be punished for that
he's gone
choice.
for Vorty at the top. Yeah.
So Imad 209, Harshan 160.
Yeah, the other option with Vorty, he could have played. He actually had a T on his rack, so he could have played it through the E and dihedral. Scores another 3 points. I'm not sure I would weigh that up. He probably wishes he had played it there now. That's picked another T, but shouldn't be too badly off. But there's another option at least. Maybe he didn't want to obscure the floaters too much with him having the blank there.
Yeah, it's a reasonable consideration.
Yeah.
So Harshan's pus-like is homeless on this board. And we'll see which way he chooses to play it. One possibility would be spiked, coming down to the D in dihedral, which is a nice heavy score. Looks like 54 points. Blows up the rack a little bit. UL is sort of a unappealing leave.
Yeah, the thing that leaped out at me was Kidel.
Yeah.
That seemed a reasonable option. That hits the focus is on that D, obviously. But yeah. He's only 49 behind, so he doesn't need to push the board out too much at this point. He doesn't need to worry too much about the board. He's got the S lane with Fug, so he's well in this game.
I would play something like KIDL, and yes, I do know the word.
I think I must be the only one here who did not know that word before. Alright. Good solid move, Kidel. 45 points, and that just about draws him even.
Yeah, Imad 209, Harshan 205.
He's not going to be close to even for very long. It looks like Imad does have himself a playable bingo.
But can he play? Yes, he can. It's probably gonna
Yeah,
take
he's
the
got
score.
the Fug spot, so...
Not a good pick for Harshan.
Well, a very quick sim in Quackle is saying that this is one of the rare occasions where you might want to forego the bingo. It likes Boit up top, overlapping Yob, going to the triple for 42 points, keeping T blank. A little bit better than the bingo.
think he's gonna play that. Is he lining that up?
Yeah, the only playable
Yeah,
bingo
it's
he
a tricky one.
has
I
is
mean,
yeah, he's got botties hooking Fug.
Yeah.
It's a low-scoring bingo, 67 points. Is it worth it to take just a 42-point move and hold the blank for next turn?
yeah, I mean, Botties does a lot of good things for the board, given you'd be 70 plus up. It really does shut the board down quite a fair bit. And you must think by now that probably Arshan does have an S, given he's played so many turns and hasn't. He did play Dihedral, so he's churned off 12 tiles, or 11
Yeah.
tiles, so probably 50-50 whether Harshan has an S or not. And that's obviously the main threat for a bonus, other than the throws through floating tiles through Dihedral. So Botties does close the board down a lot. So it's tricky. It depends how you want to play it. Again, I think if you like a board control, a more strategic player, you might go for Botties. But I think a more open player would probably take the 40 odd points in the top right. So it depends how you want to play it, really.
Botties might actually give a 9 to Hashan. Someone highlighted that in the Twitch chat. Ooh. Interesting.
He's gone for a move that was not on any of our radars, OB, for
Still
32.
80% win chance, okay. Oh, that went down quickly for 37 points.
Nice parallel play.
So Imar 241 and Hashan 242.
All right, we got ourselves a game.
Because Fugu, one of those words I know from The Simpsons. It's quite a famous early episode. With the
Fugu me.
poison fish. Yeah. Because Fugu takes an E, which is poetry. So that might come down later, but here comes a bonus.
For 76.
Spotted very quickly.
Imar 317.
And we'll see what develops from this IES leave.
Do you think Imar's going to win this game, Stefan and Craig?
He's certainly in a good position right now. I'll tell you what my opinion is as soon as I see Harshan's other 4 tiles.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I think I'll do that, sir. Harshan does like to keep us waiting. There we go.
He kept 1 S, and 2 of its cousins decide to show up to join him.
Uno.
I think I like Imad's chances a little bit better, seeing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
On one hand, it's nice for Harshan to have the S's and not have Imad draw them, but you kind of don't want all 3 of them hanging out together at the same time.
True.
He's going to have to find a way to split them up and score with them individually, which is going to steal his momentum quite a bit.
Yep. Yeah. Just to update everyone on round 28 standings, Nigel is 3 wins clear, leading with 23 wins. Paul Gallen on 20, second. Dave Koenig on 20 as well, third. Imad Ali on 18 wins, fourth. Jason Keller on fifth with 18 wins. David Eldar on sixth with 17 wins. Harshan on seventh with 17 wins. Brett on eighth with 16 wins. And Muiz, Steve Perry, Wasim Khatri are just behind. Oh,
Yep, still a lot of games to go,
To go.
for
Yeah,
people
yeah,
to move in and out of that top 8 spot.
6 games to go,
Looks like
so
Harshan is. Yeah, looks like Harshan's lined up GIS, making reg. That would create another S lane for him, which I'm guessing would be to his advantage. Needs a bonus to catch up.
Mm-hmm. Despite the 3 S's, he doesn't really have a whole lot of ways to score more than 20 or so points here. So he's going to have to spin his wheels a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, FAP is a little bit awkward because it does not take an S, so that
Correct.
limits what you can do, really. You'd have lots of nice parallels if it did take an S, but
Yes, FAP does not mean in Scrabble what it means on the internet, so just an adjective here in this family-friendly game.
friendly game.
And Imad is going to very quickly make a defensive move to kill a couple lanes with Upo. He did have a cute possibility with pronoun underlapping the GIS that was just created by Harshan, but I think at this point he wants to be closing rather than opening lanes, so Upo is certainly a stronger move from that standpoint.
yeah, and another great pickup for Harshan. 3 vowels to go with his 2 S's.
All good tiles, just not in the right combination.
Yeah, and given the last play of Upo, which closes down those floaters, Harshan's either probably going to try and open something else up, maybe something off Kidel, but then he's got to worry about. He does have openings on the right, and he's got the T in Lutenist, which is probably what he's aiming for long term. That would be the best case as he draws something IEST, but he's going to try and keep other things open as well, so that the whole thing doesn't get closed down. He's got 2 S lanes, obviously, but they could
Yeah,
get blocked at any moment.
He's got the IES set off to the side of his rack, probably thinking of an IEST ending word and seeing if he can find a profitable spot to spend the EEAS. And that's a good move. I like that.
So Imad 342, Harshan 280.
EST for 22 points, keeping AEEIS.
Yeah, there's some quite cute players suggested by Quackle on that rack. Through the V and PE, you could have
Yeah.
VPs, which would be cute. But
Very stylish, and opens a lane. It's a very strong move by Imad there, playing Cannon, making Rego. Shuts down a couple good lanes. 29 points. Hard to argue with that move at all.
Yeah.
And Harshan is again failing to develop from his reasonable leave. The Z has made an appearance on his rack, along with an overwhelming abundance of vowels.
Yeah, and I mean, Cannon does a great job of shutting the board down. It does leave a little bit of something ending in an O, but nothing you can really get down. I mean, Harshan's probably going to have to play off the C to open something up again, and then at that point, Imad knows that the T is dead pretty much in Lutenist, so he's not worried about that area now. It's just the T really, and something starting with a vowel off the side of Kidel. Those are the really only threats for him at the moment, and he's obviously picked pretty well himself, sitting there with a roosted, which doesn't go anywhere at the moment.
He's lined up Zia, which would play along the K of Kidel, without interfering with any lanes that are open. He's got to ditch the Z and some vowels and, if not open something, at least not close things. So that checks a lot of boxes for him.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to play something like Nays, the problem with that is it opens up the triple end, but it's just so easy to just play through it. Your opponent scores well off it, and then they've closed that T down as well. So it's one of those situations where you're just better to leave the two separate openings. You've got the T, you've got the vowel starting sevens. So he's got options, and his rack leave is good for hitting those things, but not so much when you pick out more vowels.
That's another ouch for Harshan.
Yeah, he's trying. He's giving it his best shot, but sometimes that bag is just going to bite your hand when you stick it in there. It's just not going to give you what you need.
Seems like it is gonna be Matt's game.
Yeah, we had Doctor suggested in chat through the DC, but again, that would open up in a way he probably doesn't want to do. I mean, it is quite a nice score, so it certainly has merit, but it looks like, I mean, OD will slot down very easily, and that looks pretty reasonable just to do something like that and pick up 20 points, leave a nice bonus friendly leave.
And OD there is 21 points, and looks like Quackle's top choice. Gives nothing back and keeps a good enough leave store that anything Harshan opens up is likely to be met with a bingo from Imad. So.
Yep.
He quickly puts down Cammy.
Yeah. Easy 8.
And
Yeah,
as
so any of the
predicted,
8s should seal it.
Yeah, as predicted, the opening created by Harshan is going to be met with an immediate bingo reply from Imad, which should put the game more or less on ice.
Yep.
course, Harshan would like that tee in the right spot, but I don't think he's going to get it for Yachties.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think. Looking at Storm here, I think.
Stormier should give him a good counterplay with the H underlapping the S. Unfortunately, it's not going to score the 150 or so points that he needs, so it's a bit of a cold comfort.
It is indeed, yeah. Yes, what a story this is gonna be.
The kid cannot be stopped.
No.
Yes, it's going to bring him one win closer to that playoffs berth over the weekend.
Yeah. Stormier goes down and 64 points. So Imad is going to be 456. Harshan 334.
And presumably,
Yes, Imad's supporters are going to.
I think we'll see Harshan's play Yech, and he probably will be saying Yech in response to this game.
Yeah. Yeah. What a game, Imad. Wow, well done. When will Nigel be Gibsonized? I have no clue. I'm going to ask Amy and let you know.
That's a good question, because we're not talking about Gibsonizing just for first place. We're talking about Gibsonizing for the top 8.
Yeah.
And he's honestly probably got to be getting pretty close at this point, even with so many games left. He's 3 games clear of the field with a massive spread.
I think because he's on 24
Yeah,
wins now.
he should be.
Yeah, I think it would take a cataclysmic event for him not to make the playoffs at this point.
Wasim beats Chris Live, moves 8. Wow. Whoa. Amazing. This is going to be one hell of a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it's
Dave.
basically at a point where Nigel can't be caught now.
Yeah.
We're taking into account his spread. His spread is getting on for nearly 3,000 plus, so realistically he's not going to be caught by players. I mean, Wazim in 8th, as you just mentioned. He's 7 games behind, but his spread is plus 574. So it would need Wazim to win all 7, Nigel to lose all 7, and 2,300 spread change for the overtake to take place. So
Yeah.
I think we could pretty much write Nigel's name down for the finals.
Yes, yeah, most likely.
Yeah, with the playoff bracket, the seeding is not quite such a big factor. You're going to have to beat good players no matter what. So, I mean, if you pull Nigel out of the regular pairings and have him matched up against weaker players, you might be kind of ceding the number 1 slot to him. Not that that necessarily makes a huge difference.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, with this round just gone, it'll be Nigel's only 6 games left for Nigel. Obviously, the players who are playing now, they've got 7 until the result goes in. So it's even further ahead is Nigel now.
Imad is looking likely to be the next Nigel, young Nigel. That's what I'm going to call him now.
No pressure now.
No pressure.
We'll give him 2 or 3 years to win the World Championship.
Yeah.
You know.
To be honest, I don't think he even needs that, but... And the game seems to be over. Harshan 391. And Imad 456. Okay.
Ooh, no.
Ooh, OT!
No.
Okay, let's give him a yeah. Yes.
Okay, there we go. That's better.
That's better. Well done, Imad.
Okay, Roti for 14 and out.
So 476 Imad and 391 Harshan. Wow, what a game.
This kid just will not be stopped.
Yes, he beat David Alda in his first game today, then Harshan in the second and Harshan in the third. Woo!
Well, he's certainly not. He's not beating up on Patzers. He's beating the good players.
He
so
is.
he certainly deserves to be where he is.
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna go and speak to them, and I'm gonna see you guys soon. Bye bye. Wow. Hi guys, can I quickly jump in and ask you questions?
Yeah, sure.
Emma, people are calling you the young Nigel, the unstoppable.
Yeah.
Tell me about how do you feel?
Good.
Good. Harshan, any comments?
I wasn't sure of relaxing. Didn't want.
It's not good.
It's not good. I didn't want to try it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was good.
Yeah.
It should be in my card box if it is. So
It's not, yeah, it's not good. Oh, what a game you had. Wow.
Any mistakes?
I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm joking. No mistakes. As far as I'm concerned.
really, nothing
yeah,
big.
Nothing big, no. Yeah,
Okay, good.
both of you. I'll play.
Thank you. That's good to know.
Good to know.
I'm
yeah.
relieved.
Uh,
It's not embarrassing otherwise.
Was
yeah.
hot good at this time?
Yes, I'm just trying to remember if you had any other options. No, I think that was probably, yeah, I think we
BIT blank. I left.
Yeah, yeah. When you played OB, people were saying
Which?
you would either play botties down there, false and botties.
Botiest?
No,
Is it good?
botties, B-O-T-T-I-E-S. You weren't sure? Or you could have played B-O-I-T-E. B-O-I-T-E, yeah.
Considered not sure.
Not sure, yeah. So that was probably the only. That was a good spot, Harsha. Well done. So
Yeah.
that was amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Was that the best spot? I'm a spike,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
burning bears, but I like keeping bears.
You had pass like, of course, you made it on your axe, you
Yeah.
know the word, but didn't go down. So hard luck.
That's right.
All the best for your next game, both of you. 6 games to go.
Yep.
Take care. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Wow, what a game we just witnessed! Wow. Just to make few announcements. The game after lunch. So this is going to be game 30, right? Yep. And the game after lunch is going to start at 1:45 UK time, not 2 p.m. Just to make sure, 1:45 p.m. Just confirming again, please message me. On top of that, I just uploaded a picture of Nigel and Imad on my Facebook, so please feel free to share and have a look. Um, am I live? So yes, Moisul Beg versus Nigel Richards. I am Sumul Siddiqui. With me today is Stefan Rao and Craig Beavers. Hello, guys.
Hello again.
Hello, hello. Round 30 of the Metal World Scrabble Championship. Round 29. Standings. So Nigel is leading by 3 wins. On first, Paul Gallen second on 21, Dave Koenig on 20 with third, Imad Ali on fourth with 19, David Elder on 5th with 18, Jason Keller on 18th, 6th, Harshan 17th, 7th, Mozilla Beg 17th, 8th, and yes.
Yep, very tight stuff. So
Indeed, yeah.
speculating, I think 21 wins will probably get people through. It might even have one person get through on 20 and a half or 20 wins with a high spread. It's going to be very close to see how it finishes, but I think 21 should get people through, particularly if you've got a decent spread as well.
Yeah.
Moyes with one of those racks that you kind of wish you were going second rather than first. There's a couple 8s in there, but no 7s. So he'll try to see what's the best combination of score and leave he can come up with.
Yeah, likewise with Nigel, he needs a couple of floaters, and there's quite a good chance he'll get one if Moyes plays something here.
Yeah.
Moyes has lined up fired, which is his best scoring move.
Yep, I think that's the best option. Between that and fired or fried, but I think those definitely the best option. Just scores too much more than anything else.
Yeah, if he knew it was sitting on Nigel's rack, he might have exchanged, but I think you got to put the tiles down and take some points.
Yeah.
Nigel does have playable bingos with this rack. Maybe difficult finds for mere mortals, but I'm sure he's seen both of them by now.
Yep.
Or if he wants to be cute, he can simply extend fired to oil fired, but he has already lined up one of his bingos on his rack, so he is not going for cuteness. He's going for rather the win, which is what I think is probably the better thing to go for. Lionhead goes down.
It's oil fired.
So, yeah, Moyes 26, Nigel 68.
Lionhead, and the other possible bingo was Rhodinal, R-H-O-D-I-N-A-L, down from the R. Those were, in fact, the only 2 bingos that he had with that rack, and Moyes was friendly enough to give him both letters that he needed.
Moise does have
Yeah.
a playable 8 here. Ooh.
Yeah, looks like he's going to spot it.
Yep, he does see it. Got some fireworks here at the beginning of the game. I don't think we'll see a third consecutive bingo, though.
Yeah, Moise 90, Nigel 68.
Yeah, and fired is one you kind of keep an eye on for what we call Benjamins, which would be a 3-letter extension to the triple word score. Obviously, oil fired was mentioned. There are another 3 to think about. See if anybody can think of those in chat. Meanwhile, Nigel, 6 vowels and a Z, but the Z's going to help him a great deal here.
ZOA goes down for 41, so Nigel 109.
Yeah, that new 2-letter word ZE is quite useful in a lot of
Yeah.
spots.
If
It does make the Z a very volatile tile.
It does. It's game changing.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. If I was Moise, I would just play QI. I'm sure there would be better plays, but that's what I would do. Craig, Stefan?
Yes. It's hard to
Yeah.
make an argument for almost anything else. I mean, either QI or just exchange the Q, which is, I mean, you might as well take your 11 points.
Yeah.
And he's got the N, so if he doesn't pick a bingo with his 1-tile draw, he can potentially come down and make QIN for a bunch of points.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's obviously no bingos in that, so I think this is going to be one of those moves where he can just drop the Q, do his thing, move on, and have a pretty good shot at playing the rest of his tiles next turn.
Yeah, and I'm sure Nigel
Yeah,
has a 7 on his rack as well.
Yeah. The trouble with the Q, I mean, you'd rather not leave the QIN spot because you know if you dump the Q, virtually everything you draw is going to give you a bonus. So chances are your opponent's going to get that QIN spot. But as you can see, Nigel doesn't have an N, so you'd rather not leave it. So you might think a little bit about dumping the N as well, but because you're so likely to bonus with stone and a blank, I think you just play the Q off.
And Nigel, as mentioned, has Bohemia on his rack. No place for it to go.
So Moise 101, Nigel 109. Wow.
Yeah, there's nothing much Nigel can really do other than probably focus around that ZE spot to that looks like his best scoring option. He obviously can't do anything with the QIN because he doesn't have an N, he doesn't have an S, so it looks like his main options are revolving around that ZE, score 30 or so. It looks like he's lined up base there.
Mm-hmm. Strong choice, 32 points.
Yep. 32 points, and
Moise, as so often happens, plays off the Q and draws the U, but I'm sure he doesn't mind in this particular instance because it means he's gonna be able to play a bonus here.
Yep, he actually does a slight consideration would be the the Benjamin to fired, he actually has one of them.
Mm-hmm.
He can extend fired to out fired. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. What's that? It's going to score 36. But when he can do that, probably not.
That would be an O. Or
Could be an O or an M. Let's see if we can see what the slip says.
he's probably gonna say it. Oh, he didn't.
I think he circled an M. Could be either unsuit or unsmote.
And that's a hold. Yep. Mike, do you know if that's an M or an O? Didn't we say anything? Okay.
Interestingly enough, he had those two possibilities as the double-double, but as Craig mentioned, outfired is the other possibility. Outfired actually seems stronger than any bingo aside from the double-double, so if he didn't find either unsuit or unsmote, then he may well have considered outfired.
Should we go with O or M? Any chance you can zoom in on the slip, please?
I think the slip is halfway under the board.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Right. I think Nigel, did he hold for a few seconds there?
Yeah, he
if he
did,
did,
yeah.
I'm sure Moyes' heart skipped a few beats
Oh,
there.
you would know now.
It's always a bit scary.
That's an M.
Yep, that solves the mystery.
Yep. And so Moyes 188, Nigel 180. And of course Moyes has another 8 on his rack now. Really spotted.
Yeah, it's a toughie. You probably, if he had a chance to look at his rack properly, particularly if Nigel had took longer, he maybe would have focused more and had a better chance at looking at the floors as available. Now he's got emblem as well to look at. There's quite a lot of floaters to kind of work through to try and find an 8.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where if he doesn't find the 8, the next best player isn't actually too far off. So it's tempting to kind of, if you don't see anything within a minute or so, you'd probably just there's something like CAF, CAF, and know you're playing a pretty strong move.
Right. That rack does make 5 different 8s. Only one of the required floaters is on the board right now. Fanciest is the easiest one to spot. And there's an R-rated one in there as well. Not giving an indication that he has seen the available 8 just yet. It's an obscure medium probability word.
Yeah, it's quite quite a long way down the list of words somebody like Moyes would study.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And although it ends in S, it is not a 7 with an S on the end of it. It's the plural of an obscure 6. Yeah, this is just one of those racks that it looks like there has to be something there, so he's going to spend some time. He has not seen his bingo just yet, so he will likely spend some time on this one, because it just does look so promising.
Yeah.
Nigel looks like he's already made up his mind what he's going to do next turn.
Mm-hmm. Score is good.
Mm-hmm.
Just to remind everyone, games, so after this we have a break of 45 minutes and we're going to resume at 1:45 UK time, 1:45 PM, 15 to 2, and not at 2 PM, so only 45 minutes lunch.
Mm-hmm. He's got the tiles lined up as if he's looking for one of the other available 8s, Fasci 8, but
Yeah.
there's no A available on the board.
Can Moise hear me? Come on, Moise.
And now it looks like he might be just ready to settle for calf, keeping the very strong
Yeah.
SITE leave. And that's probably a solid move if you
Yep.
if you miss the bingo.
Second best.
Second
so
best. Yeah, the bingo that was available was factices, through the S, the plural of factus. For my North American listeners, that is a Collins-only word. Alternate spelling of factus is F-A-C-T-I-C-E, which is one of the other 8s available, but there was no C on the board. And the final 5.
Yep.
The fifth one is an R-rated synonym for drunkenness, which on this family-friendly broadcast we will not mention unnecessarily.
Yes.
Oh, the tile bag did not like Moise's move. It did not reward him.
Yep. And
And
Hooli goes down for 35.
As we expected, Hooli goes down very quickly.
So Moise 217, Nigel 215. AUA out of the bag. Oops. Would you play? Would you play? Oh, sorry. Would you play AUA for LA?
Let's see. Yeah, I think you're definitely in a fishing spot here, and that's probably right off the bat. That's a good possibility.
Yeah, I mean this position's a little bit more tricky because there aren't really any good S spots now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the only real hot spot is that one there, and I would have probably played the S on the end of that.
Yeah,
It's so much more points.
He
Yeah.
can hear me.
Yeah, Awa just 11 points, and tack on the S, it's an extra 19. So yeah, it certainly would have been a consideration.
Yep. Moise is currently on 8th position after round 29 and with 17 wins. So I think every game is crucial now. Ooh, double V! Ouch!
Ooh. And Nigel has one of the Benjamins lined up
Ah.
Yeah.
for fired.
Mhm.
42 points, but keeps the clunky, little bit awkward four-consonant leave.
Ooh, Moise has an 8. Uh,
Yeah, it doesn't quite fit, I don't think. He needs that S, but it's just not
Yeah.
quite in the right place.
He needs an emergency clabbers play.
yes, I forgot to say that it didn't fit. I saw it and I got so excited.
So Nigel forgoes the Benjamin,
Ooh.
still spending his vowel, sacrificing 9 points to kill the Y hanging in the triple lane.
Wow, nice
And
pickup.
wow, nice pickup.
So Savviest does not quite fit, unfortunately, for Moise.
So Moise is 228 and Nigel is 248.
He's got Vivat lined up and going with it pretty quickly. It's a good solid move, getting rid of both of those terrible V's and scoring 32 points, keeping ES. A lot to like about that.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate though. It's going to set up. Nigel.
Yeah, it's going to cost him.
Nigel very happy to see that I.
Yeah, he already had a bingo without it with Undaring, as he's got set up on his rack from that U and Awa. So might opt for
Yeah, he
draining
also had
instead.
one
Just
through the E.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
So 29 tiles in the bag. Ooh.
Yeah,
So-
that's probably the worst pickup you can get to ES.
260. Featured suggestions in the Twitch chat. e-
So one of three options Nigel has. He's going
Yep.
to go with Grannied.
So Nigel 322.
And with Moise's catastrophic draw to his ES leave, that's not good news for him.
Yeah. He can still score. X for Nigel.
And an S.
Hmm. Yeah, that looks like Moise. Was he lining up War Juice? Would be that would be a very nice spot. Gets rid of one of the U's and pretty much all the other rubbish, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think given how bad his pickup is, it ticks as many boxes as he could possibly hope for, really.
Yeah, he looks like
There is
he's...
a blank still to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wojus
Goes down to
30.
30. Good move, Moise.
Oxnarts for Nigel. I think he will be able to
So
bend
yeah,
that
war
X.
juice is it's an Irish slang word.
Hmm.
It means of a poor quality or low standard.
Oh,
Okay.
And yeah,
So
I've
we
never
can
heard
say-
of it either.
yeah. So we can say that that was not a Wojus move. That was a very un-Wojus move on Moyes' part.
There you go.
Is unwojus good?
No,
No.
I'm just neologizing over here. And Nigel has lined up Xator. He could very well be thinking of Laxator as the extension from LA. He tends to find those high-scoring moves really, really quickly, this guy.
Yep.
That would be a 44-point move. I think someone was saying the other day that if we look at who makes the most 40 and 50-point moves, Nigel has got to be way ahead of everyone. Because not only does he find the bingos, he finds these really nice intermediate moves. And 44 points for Laxator.
So Nigel is gonna be 366 after this. Outdrew.
Yeah, one of the things Nigel does is he always kind of consistently scores 30s, 40s, 50s. When he plays at the UK Open, that's what really gives him such a big lead over a field when there's maybe not a wider range of players. He's so good at just churning over scores that he almost never loses to a significantly weaker player because he just scores so consistently that whereas other players are more volatile style, more sort of big scores and more low scores. But Nigel's so good at just churning over scores.
Meanwhile, that O gave Moyes exactly what he needed. He had a homeless out Drew, but the O gives him out Road, which is going to score 82 points
Ooh.
and give him a small lead. So we got ourselves a game.
So 372 to Moise and 366 to Nigel.
Unfortunately, it might not be a game for very much longer, given what Nigel has sitting on his rack. Yet
Yep.
again, he has the magic picking fingers. And he has his choice of 2 bingos here. Actually 3.
Let's see what Moise gets out of the bag. Probably the blank.
Most likely. Got a good shot at it. He doesn't have a lot of great stuff that he can draw to go with it, unfortunately. Even if he has it, it
No,
might not rescue him.
Certainly not.
He can play airlines, but is he going to do that?
No blank and not a good rack.
Ooh. I think that pick would have changed the game.
It might well have.
Yep.
Yeah, I think given what's in the bag, I think if Moyes had picked the blank and got a bonus down, even the face value one through the air, for instance, I think there's a good chance he still would have won if he'd been able to draw that blank.
Yeah, so Nigel has airlines lined up.
He can hear me. Oh my god.
His other option for a few more points was Resolin,
Yeah.
hooking the S on Laxator.
It's going for it. 77. So Nigel 443.
Yeah, Resolin makes it a little bit more difficult for Moyes to have a comeback high-scoring bingo. Airlines does leave that S out there. We could potentially use it. And Nigel is going to
The blank.
get the blank as part of the final 6 tiles out of the bag.
Yep. So just to remind everyone, lunch after this game, and we are back for 1:45 p.m.
Yeah, Moyes kind of had one chance here, and that is if he could have picked a bingo to go out, hopefully with that
Yeah.
blank. It wasn't looking very likely, given what was available for him to pick, and he did in fact manage to dodge the bingo, unfortunately.
I think it was a pretty good game,
Yeah.
other than the miss from Moise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna tell him about it. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, just having a quick look at the last move. I mean, obviously for Nigel, it's a choice between airlines or Resilin or Snalia, and just having a quick look at it. Snalia seems to be coming out on top so far, interestingly enough.
Huh.
So yeah, it's got Snalia at 97%, airlines at about 95 or so, and Resilin just underneath. So
Yeah, I guess airlines. Yeah,
Course,
it does have that slight chance of allowing a bingo down from the S. Although right off the top of my head, I'm not seeing if there actually is something in that potential pool that Moyes could have picked. But that would probably be the reason why Snailier comes out a little bit on top. Scores significantly less, but gives back nothing.
And just to remind everyone, the pictures are gonna be up on Mind Sports Academy page during lunchtime, so have a look. It's gonna be yeah, especially if you want to see what Stefan's wearing today.
And Moyes, for what it's worth, is finding his highest scoring play here, Galpin.
36.
Galpin is an Old Norse word, the hollow of the two hands held together. So one of those things that we've all done.
We've
And
all done.
I had no idea there was actually a word for that. Next time I'm hungry, I'm going to say, here, give me a galpin full of rice or something. Give me a galpin full of M&Ms. See, we
don't-
learn new words here.
You do. But they might look at you strangely until they realize you are a Scrabble player.
Of course. And like, oh, yes, of course, a
Of
galpin.
course,
How
yeah,
did I
yeah.
not know
How
that?
did I not know that? I'm sorry, what?
A galpin, right here. Come on now. Galpin me, man.
Oh, that's not gonna go down well. So yeah, people were suggesting. Ooh, he's not playing that.
yeah, I think maybe Nigel can possibly block out the two outs with the GT. I don't know if there's another one elsewhere. He's got the O and Galpin to play got through, or the E for get, but I don't think there's any other outs anywhere else. Unless I'm missing them.
Yeah,
If he's
the puck
pointing out
sounds.
that Galpen full is a word.
Oh my god, it is. Galpin full. Oh my goodness. I was just making up words, and oh my goodness, the Collins people have it in their book.
Um. So 408 Moise, 465 Nigel.
Yeah, not much Moyes can do here. Just
Yeah.
dump off the G deck, but yeah, he can't go out, so he's probably studying the board for any vowels he can go through. But I just have to dump the G.
It's just an example of the thoroughness that Nigel has. I mean, he had high-scoring moves available, like Ski V through that V and Toei underneath Grannied, but instead he, despite the fact that he had the game in hand, he took the time to look for Moise's outs and block them, sacrificing some points. That's how you accumulate plus 3,000 spread, by grabbing every single point that's available to you.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah.
And Moise, for his part, does find his best move, Deg for 8. Now Nigel can score 22 points to go out. Let's see if he finds it. Oh,
Wow.
yet again, he doesn't settle for the easy 21. He takes the 22.
Yep.
Yui to go out.
So
And that gives-
Moise 416, Nigel 489. Just to remind everyone, we are going to be back at 1:45 GMT UK time PM. Everything. I am going to quickly go and interview them. So stay tuned and see you guys soon.
And I'm going to go get a galpin full of lunch.
See you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
80 plus 11.
90. 26. 64 is 90.
Yeah, 90.
And then 101.
Yeah. So 101. What are we getting? It's 414?
415.
Yeah, 415. Plus 2. 415, 480.
Can I quickly speak to you guys? Hello, hello. Talk me through the game, Moise. Yeah, the last pick wasn't the best.
Yeah,
I mean, the
I had to
second
draw the blank.
You had to draw the blank, yeah. And
Was there any mistake I made? Yeah, you're using the computer, you know. should
of
know.
course, yes. There was one, yeah. But other than that, I think you did everything you could have. So
Was the first move fine?
yeah, that was fine. The first move was fine. Other than that one mistake, you didn't do anything else, so that was fine.
What was the mistake?
You okay with that, right?
Yeah, sure.
You missed when you played. Where did you play the F?
Oh, CAF.
Yeah, when you played CAF, you had factises, if that's how you say it. Factises. So yeah.
I couldn't recall it. It's my
Yeah.
mistake.
So that was probably the only one, and other than that, yeah, well played. Actually, me and Stefan is loving the word Galpin. So, yeah. Do you know what it means?
No.
It means
Pin for gal.
basically that. Just two hands full. That's it.
Two hands full.
Yeah, two hands together. That's Gaupin.
Like when you're praying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not when you, yeah, in a way, yes.
Mm.
So yeah, good game, guys. All the best to you. I'm sure you're gonna be Gibbs and Ice from next round because you are already 4 wins ahead, 3 wins ahead, something like that. So 5 games to go. All the best.
Thank you.